The massive wooden gates of Konoha loomed ahead, familiar yet somehow different after 3 long years. Naruto Uzumaki strode through them confidently, orange duffel bag over one shoulder, hands behind his head. He was taller now, nearly 170 centimeters, broader shoulders, muscles honed from relentless training. His spiky blonde hair caught the afternoon sun, blue eyes bright with excitement, whisker marks as prominent as ever. Villagers whispered as he passed. "Is that Naruto? He's grown up." Naruto grinned and waved. "I'm back, Databeo." He didn't stop to chat long. First stop, Ichiraku Ramen. Tucci and Ayam greeted him like a long-lost son, piling extra pork on his bowls for free. Naruto devoured 3 in record time, moaning dramatically with every slurp. "Nothing in the world beats this." Full and happy, he headed to his dusty old apartment, tossed his bag in the corner, kicked off his sandals, and face-planted onto the bed. "Finally, home," he mumbled into the pillow. Sleep came instantly. In the darkness of slumber, a soft electronic chime echoed in his head. A glowing blue panel materialized. "Congratulations, host! Ultimate Harem system has been successfully bound. Host Naruto Uzumaki. Current level 1. Core progression. Gain experience primarily through achieving simultaneous deep release with multiple female partners. Optimal efficiency achieved with exactly 4 partners, diminishing returns beyond this number. Trust system. Every female individual possesses a trust value, 0 to 100. Higher trust unlocks greater intimacy, willingness to submit, and unique personal bonuses. Initial skills granted. Enhanced stamina LV.1, increased endurance and recovery. Minor charm aura passive, subtle boost to natural charisma and persuasiveness. Shadow clone sensory link LV.1, clones transfer 20% of physical sensations back to original body. Immediately after, a new panel unfolded with a clear title. Personal Harem Target List, Planned Acquisition Order. Sakura Haruno. Primary focus. Existing deep bond and shared history make her the easiest and most natural starting point. Hinata Hyuga. Gentle, long-hidden feelings. Requires patience and genuine care to bring her out of her shell. Ino Yamanaka. Confident, competitive. Rivalry with Sakura can spark interest. Floral beauty and mind techniques as bonus. Tsunade Senju. High difficulty, legendary strength, medical mastery, and authority. Massive rewards if successful. Shizen. If Tsunade is secured, trust transfer will make her much easier. Loyal assistant with excellent support skills. Temari. Strong-willed Suna Kunoichi. Political alliance benefits. Powerful wind jutsu synergy. Kurinai Yehi. Elegant genjutsu mistress. Mature allure, calming presence. Anko Midarashi. Bold, wild energy, interrogation expertise, fearless attitude. Hey guys, over on Patreon, you'll find chapters bursting with way more steamy lemons than anything here on YouTube, plus exclusive secret ones that will never hit YouTube. So don't wait. Rush over and subscribe now. Updates drop way more frequently, with twice the content every single day. The link's waiting for you in the description and comments. Go unlock it all. Perfect for adding spice. Naruto jolted awake, sitting bolt upright in the dark room. Heart pounding, he rubbed his eyes hard. The panels remained. "WH, what the hell is this?" he shouted to the empty apartment. He experimented for 10 minutes, waving hands through the text, closing eyes, even forming a weak raisin gan. Nothing worked. A harem system? His face flushed crimson. Images from Jiraiya's Ika books flashed through his mind. Part of him felt a rush of teenage excitement. Another part felt confused and guilty. "I'm not gonna force anyone to do anything," he muttered firmly. "That's not who I am. If this thing works, it's only if they want it to." As if in response, a warning appeared. Warning: trust cannot be faked long-term. Artificial manipulation beyond natural charisma will result in reduced gains, trust penalties, or complete lockout. Naruto exhaled in relief. Good. Then we're on the same page. He stared at the target list again, cheeks burning. It felt strangely accurate. Sakura first made perfect sense. He didn't have a grand plan yet, but tomorrow he wanted to see his friends. Especially Sakura. The next morning, after a quick shower and throwing on his new orange and black jacket, Naruto headed out. He wandered the village briefly, taking in rebuilt shops and familiar faces, before his feet carried him to Training Ground 7, the old Team 7 spot. And there she was. Sakura Harino stood in the middle of the field, repeatedly punching a thick wooden training post. Each strike sent cracks spider webbing through the wood, chips flying. Her pink hair, longer now and falling just past her shoulders, swayed with every movement. She wore her classic red sleeveless top, black shorts, elbow-length black gloves, and forehead protector tilted like a hairband. Sweat glistened on her exposed midriff and arms, her body toned, strong, undeniably feminine. Naruto leaned against a tree, watching quietly for a moment. 3 years had changed her too. She moved with even more confidence, more raw power. Tsunade's training had paid off. Finally he called out, "Yo, Sakura-chan!" Sakura froze mid-punch, turning sharply. Her green eyes widened. "And Naruto?" She blinked, taking him in, taller, broader, more mature. A small smile tugged at her lips. "You're really back." He scratched the back of his head, grinning sheepishly. "Yeah. Just got in last night. Figured I'd come see the old place. And you." They talked for hours. At first it was light, training stories, village changes, but it deepened. Sakura admitted how scared she'd been during Pain's invasion, how powerless she'd felt. Naruto opened up about the loneliness of the road, how he'd pushed himself every day to protect everyone. "You've really grown up," Sakura said quietly at one point, looking at him with new eyes. Naruto felt warmth spread through his chest. Sakura Harino, Trust, 60-67. They sparred lightly afterward, more play than real fight. Sakura still outclassed him in taijutsu, landing gentle taps that could have shattered boulders. Naruto countered with improved speed and new tricks. They laughed when they collapsed side by side in the grass, breathing hard. "You're not half bad anymore," Sakura teased, nudging his shoulder. "High praise from the monster strength medic," he shot back. Days turned into a week. Naruto made a point to see her regularly, bringing lunch after long hospital shifts, walking her home at night, listening when she vented about difficult patients or Tsunade's harsh training. He didn't flirt aggressively. He was just there, reliable, attentive, genuinely caring. Trust ticked upwards slowly but steadily. 67, 71, 75, 79. One exhausting evening, he found her sitting on a bench outside the hospital, head in hands. He'd brought her favorite red bean buns and green tea. "Hey," he said softly, sitting beside her. Sakura looked up, tired eyes softening. "You always know when I need this." They ate in comfortable silence, then she talked about the weight of responsibility. Naruto listened without interrupting. "You're already one of the strongest people I know, Sakura-chan," he said quietly. "Not just physically. That heart of yours, that's real strength." Sakura Harino, Trust, 79-85. Later, walking her home under moonlight, she stopped suddenly. "Naruto, do you want to come in? Just for tea." His heart skipped, but he nodded casually. "Sure." Her apartment was small but tidy, medical scrolls stacked neatly, herbs on the windowsill. They talked until the tea was gone. Silence turned charged. Sakura moved first, fingers lightly tracing his whisker mark. "These never changed," she murmured. When their eyes met, she leaned in slowly. Naruto met her halfway. The kiss started soft, tentative, years of history pouring into it. When they parted, both breathing harder, Sakura's cheeks were deep pink. They didn't rush further that night, more slow kisses, hands respectful. When Naruto left, it was with a gentle goodnight kiss at her door. Sakura Harino, Trust, 8592. A few days later, after an intense spar, they sat watching clouds. Sakura opened up about how she treated him badly as kids, how focused she'd been on Sasuke. Naruto shook his head gently. We were kids. You've more than made up for it. Believing in me when it mattered most. She reached for his cheek again. This time the kiss deepened quickly. That evening, after Sakura invited him for dinner, the atmosphere in her small apartment felt warm and charged. They cooked together, simple stir-fried vegetables, rice, and grilled fish, laughing over spilled sauce and reminiscing about old Team 7 mishaps. By the time they finished eating, the soft lamplight cast gentle shadows, and their conversation had faded into comfortable, lingering glances. Sakura set her chopsticks down, her green eyes meeting his with quiet intensity. Bedroom? She whispered, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. Naruto's pulse quickened as he nodded, taking her hand and following her down the short hallway. The door closed softly behind them, and Sakura stepped close, pressing her body against his. Their kiss started slow and tender, then deepened with growing need, years of unspoken feelings finally pouring out. Clothes came off gradually, hands exploring with reverence. Naruto traced kisses along her neck and collarbone, worshipping the strength and softness of her body. Sakura sighed his name, fingers threading through his hair as she guided him lower, then pulled him back up to meet her lips again. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ****. Afterward, they lay tangled under the sheets, moonlight spilling through the window. Sakura rested her head on his chest, tracing lazy circles over his whisker marks. That was perfect, she said softly, smiling up at him. Naruto kissed her forehead, holding her tighter. Yeah. And it's only the beginning, Sakura-chan. In the corner of his vision, a quiet notification appeared. First multi-partner experience detected brief. EXP gained moderate boost. Level up 1-2. New skill unlocked. Shadow Clone Sensory Link LV.2, 40% sensation transfer. But none of that mattered right now. All that mattered was the warmth of her body against his, and the quiet certainty that whatever came next, they'd face it together. Life in Konoha felt almost too good to be true for Naruto these days. Mornings started with training, afternoons with missions or ramen, and many evenings. Many evenings ended in Sakura's apartment, tangled in sheets and quiet laughter. Their relationship wasn't something they advertised. No hand-holding in public, no big announcements. But the way they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching said everything. Sakura's trust sat firmly at 100, and with it came a new kind of openness. She didn't ask about other girls, didn't push, but sometimes, in the afterglow, she would trace patterns on his chest and murmur things like, "You deserve to be happy, really happy. With whoever makes you feel that way." Naruto never quite knew how to respond. He just held her tighter. But the system hadn't gone silent. Every time he saw one of the other girls, Ino at the flower shop, Tenten at the weapon range, or Hinata quietly watching from the edges of the training grounds, a small notification would appear in the corner of his vision. Hinata Hyuga, Trust, 88. Ino Yamanaka, Trust, 62. Tenten, Trust, 65. Hinata's number had always been high, even before he left for training. She had believed in him when almost no one else did. And now, back in the village, he noticed her more than ever. She was everywhere and nowhere. Appearing at the training grounds when he practiced, leaving small bentos on doorsteps after tough missions, always with that shy smile and those pale lavender eyes that seemed to see right through him. One crisp autumn afternoon, Naruto decided to seek her out. He found her in the Hyuga compound gardens, practicing gentle fist forms under the falling leaves. Her long, Dark indigo hair flowed down her back like silk, swaying with each precise movement. She wore her usual lavender jacket, zipped high, but the way it hugged her figure, soft curves, generous chest, slender waist, made Naruto's throat go dry for a second. He waited until she finished her kata before calling out softly, "Hey! Hinata!" She startled slightly, spinning to face him. Her pale eyes widened, cheeks instantly flushing pink. "And Naruto-kun? I didn't, hello?" He smiled, hands in his pockets, trying not to look nervous. "Your forms look amazing. You've gotten even stronger." She ducked her head, fingers twisting together. Thank you. I've been training hard." They stood in awkward silence for a moment, the kind that hadn't existed between them when they were kids, but now felt loaded with years of unspoken words. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. "Actually, I was wondering if you'd want to train together sometime? Just us. I could use someone with your precision to help me with chakra control." Hinata's eyes lit up. I'd like that very much." And so it began. They started meeting 3 times a week at a secluded training spot near the river, early mornings when the mist still clung to the water. Naruto would work on Rasengan variations. Hinata would refine her Byakugan and gentle fist. They'd take breaks to eat the snacks she always brought, onigiri, tamagoyaki, little sweet mochi she made herself. Conversation came slowly at first. Hinata was shy, Naruto careful not to overwhelm her. But bit by bit, she opened up. She talked about the pressure of being the Hyuga heiress, how her father had finally started to acknowledge her strength after the war. Naruto shared stories from the road, the loneliness, the doubt, the moments he'd almost given up. Each time they parted, the system pinged quietly. Trust, 88 90 92 94. One rainy afternoon, their training got cut short by a sudden downpour. They dashed under a large oak tree, laughing breathlessly as water dripped from leaves. Hinata's jacket clung to her skin, hair plastered dark against her face. Naruto shrugged off his orange jacket without thinking and draped it over her shoulders. "You'll catch a cold," he said simply. She looked up at him, raindrops on her lashes, and something in her expression shifted. "Naruto-kun, I've always admired you. More than anyone." His heart thudded. He knew. He'd always suspected. But hearing it now, after everything. "I've always noticed you too, Hinata. Even when I was too dense to say it properly." She stepped closer, tentative, trembling slightly. Naruto met her halfway. Their first kiss was soft, almost fragile, lips barely brushing, then pressing firmer. Hinata's hands rested lightly on his chest. His cupped her face gently, thumbs stroking her cheeks. When they pulled apart, both were breathing harder, faces flushed. I should go," she whispered but didn't move. Naruto smiled. "Only if you want to." She didn't. They kissed again, longer this time, deeper, sweeter. Hands stayed respectful, but the heat between them built slowly, naturally. That night, Naruto walked her home through the rain, sharing his jacket the whole way. Trust, 94-97. The next few meetings were different, charged with new awareness. Touches lingered. Smiles came easier. Hinata's shyness remained, but it was laced with quiet courage now. One evening, after training, she asked softly, "Would you like to come to my room? For tea. My father is away on clan business." Naruto swallowed. "I'd like that." The Hyuga compound was quiet. Hinata's room was simple but warm, tatami mats, a low table, soft lighting. She made tea with careful precision, hands only shaking slightly. They sat close on the floor cushions, knees touching. Conversation drifted to deeper things, dreams, fears, hopes. Hinata admitted how long she'd loved him, voice barely above a whisper. Naruto told her how much her belief had meant during his darkest moments. When the tea was forgotten, they kissed again, slow and exploratory. Naruto's hands slid to her waist, hers to his shoulders. Clothes came off gradually, her jacket first, then his shirt. When her mesh undershirt followed, Naruto paused to simply look. Pale skin, full chest, delicate curves. She was breathtaking. He laid her back gently on the futon, kissing every inch he uncovered. His lips trailed down her neck, lingering at the sensitive spot just below her ear that made her shiver. He moved lower, across her collarbone, then to her chest, taking one soft peek into his mouth, tongue swirling slowly, teasingly, while his hand kneaded the other gently, thumb brushing over the hardening nipple. Hinata's breathing grew shallow, soft gasps escaping her lips as she arched into his touch. Her fingers threaded through his spiky blonde hair, not pulling, just holding, as if anchoring herself to the moment. "Naruto-kun, it feels so good," she whispered, voice trembling with a mix of shyness and wonder. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ***. They lay tangled afterward, her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat slow. I love you, Naruto-kun," she said quietly, no stutter this time. He kissed her hair. "I love you too, Hinata." Hinata Hyuga, Trust, 97-100, maximum achieved. Special bonus: Hinata will now offer quiet, unwavering support for any bonds Naruto forms with others she deems worthy. Later, as he walked home under the stars, Naruto's mind raced. 2 girls. 2 maximum trusts. 2 hearts that somehow, impossibly, didn't seem to mind sharing space with the idea of more. Sakura had hinted. Hinata had accepted. The system hummed quietly in approval, but Naruto barely noticed. This wasn't about levels or bonuses anymore. It was about them, about being honest, careful, and unbelievably lucky. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew the next step would involve bringing them together. You want the uncensored version of the story? No cuts, no limits, no bullshit? Then get your ass over to my Patreon right now. For just $4 a month you unlock 440+ episodes of Limon stories. And every single day a ton of new stories drop. It's literally non-stop fresh filth, raw, taboo crossovers and lemons from Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, One Punch Man, DxD, Fate, and insane mashups you won't find anywhere else. Pure degeneracy, zero censorship, and it never gets boring because new shit lands daily. Link in the description or pinned comment. Go subscribe, you know you're already hard just thinking about it. But that could wait. For now, he had 2 incredible girls who loved him, and that was more than enough. The weeks following Naruto's deepening bond with Hinata passed in a whirlwind of quiet happiness. He balanced his time carefully, days with one, evenings with the other, stolen moments that felt both thrilling and natural. Neither girl asked questions. Neither seemed jealous. If anything, the air between all 3 carried a subtle understanding. Sakura and Hinata had always been friendly. Respectful rivals in strength, quiet allies in caring for their friends. They ran into each other often now, at the hospital where Hinata sometimes volunteered medical aid, or at the training grounds where Sakura would spar lightly with the Hyuga heiress. One afternoon, after a joint training session the 3 of them had shared, innocent enough on the surface, Sakura pulled Naruto aside. "I know about Hinata," she said simply, green eyes steady. No anger. No accusation. Naruto froze. "Sakura-chan. She placed a finger on his lips. "I'm not mad. I've seen the way she looks at you. The way you look at her." A small smile curved her lips. "And I meant what I said, you deserve to be happy. With whoever makes you feel that way." He searched her face. "And you're really okay with it?" Sakura's smile turned softer, almost mischievous. "More than okay. I trust you completely, Naruto. And I trust Hinata." She leaned in, voice dropping to a whisper. "Actually, I've been thinking. Maybe we should all talk together." His heart nearly stopped. That night, the 3 of them met at Sakura's apartment, Neutral ground, private, safe. Hinata arrived first, nervous fingers twisting the hem of her lavender jacket. Sakura greeted her with a warm hug, easing the tension immediately. They sat in a small circle on the living room floor, tea untouched. Conversation started awkward, small talk about training the village, but Sakura steered it gently. "I know you two have gotten close," she said to Hinata, voice kind. "And I'm happy for you. For both of you." Hinata's pale eyes widened. Sakura-san. I didn't want to hurt." "You didn't," Sakura interrupted softly. "I love Naruto. And I think I could love sharing him. If you're both willing." The silence that followed was electric. Naruto looked between them, strong, beautiful, trusting him completely. His voice came out rough. "I don't want to hurt either of you. Ever." Hinata reached out, taking his hand. Sakura took the other. "We know," they said almost in unison. Then Sakura's eyes darkened with something new, playful, possessive, utterly surrendered to whatever he desired. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ***. The clones dispersed with a poof, every last pulse of pleasure flooding back to the original. Naruto collapsed between them, chest heaving. Sakura and Hinata curled against him immediately. Flushed, marked, utterly satisfied. Sakura nuzzled his neck. "Thank you, for forgiving me. For letting me be yours like that." Hinata kissed his chest softly. "I've never felt so wanted. So completely yours." He wrapped an arm around each, pulling them close. "I love you both," he said simply. "So much." System notification. First simultaneous deep release with 2 partners achieved. EXP plus 400. Level up 1-2. New skill unlocked. Perfect synchronization. Improves multi-partner timing. But the glowing panel barely registered. Because in that moment, with Sakura and Hinata asleep against him, bodies still trembling from aftershocks, Naruto knew this wasn't about the system anymore. It was about them. All of them. Together. Naruto's life had become something straight out of the wildest Ika novels Jiraiya used to hide under his bed, except this was real, and it was his. Sakura and Hinata had fully woven themselves into his heart and his nights. Passionate, loving, completely devoted. They spent time together as a trio now without any awkwardness, training sessions that turned into lingering touches, quiet dinners that ended in tangled sheets, and long evenings where pleasure was shared freely and without restraint. Yet Naruto couldn't ignore the way his eyes kept drifting to Ino Yamanaka. She had always been stunning, confident, sharp-tongued, and unapologetically sexy. Since his return, their usual banter had taken on a new heat. She'd lean over the counter at Yamanaka Flowers just a little too far, flash that knowing smirk, and leave him walking away with his pulse racing. One warm, golden afternoon, Naruto finally decided to stop dancing around it. The flower shop was empty near closing time. Ino was arranging a large display of roses and lilies, her long light blonde ponytail swaying with every movement. Her purple crop top hugged her torso perfectly, revealing a toned midriff, and her short skirt showed off those endless, flawless legs. When she spotted him in the doorway, her blue eyes lit up. "Well, look who finally decided to show up," she teased, resting a hand on her hip. "Here to buy flowers for your secret girlfriend, or 3? Naruto grinned, stepping inside. "Maybe I just came to see the prettiest flower in the shop." Ino laughed, low and delighted. "Getting bold, fox boy." "I like it." They talked long after she locked the door, about missions, dreams, insecurities. When the conversation naturally died down, Ino tilted her head toward the stairs. "Want to come up? I've got cold barley tea, and privacy." He followed without hesitation. The moment the apartment door clicked shut, Ino pushed him against the wall, hungry, commanding, all fire. Her lips crashed into his, tongue demanding entry immediately. Naruto groaned into the kiss, hands sliding down to grip her firm ass through the thin skirt. Ino moaned against his mouth, grinding her hips into the growing hardness in his pants. "I've wanted this for way too long," she whispered, voice husky with need. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ***. They collapsed in a sweaty heap, laughing breathlessly. "That was fucking incredible," Ino panted, tracing patterns on his chest. Ino Yamanaka, Trust, 6278. The next week was a blur of stolen moments, quick, heated sessions in the closed shop after hours, long nights in her apartment, even a risky encounter in a quiet alley after a mission. Each time, Naruto made sure she felt desired and cherished, listening to her body and her words. Ino opened up more with every encounter, letting him see the vulnerable side she hid from the world. After their 5th time, a marathon where she rode him until they were both exhausted, her trust hit maximum. Ino Yamanaka, Trust, 100 maximum achieved. Special bonus, Ino gains enhanced mind-body awareness in group settings, amplifying shared pleasure. Curled against him, Ino whispered, "I know about Sakura and Hinata. The looks, the rumors. I'm not jealous. I want to join you. All of you." Naruto kissed her forehead. "Then tomorrow night. At Sakura's place." The following evening, Sakura's apartment glowed softly with lantern light. Sakura opened the door wearing only a thin silk robe, green eyes gleaming. She pulled Ino into a warm, lingering hug. Hinata, blushing deeply, offered the same, her lavender jacket already discarded, showing the mesh top beneath. They sat in a circle at first, wine flowing, honest words shared. Boundaries, desires, excitement. Ino fit seamlessly, her boldness drawing out Hinata's hidden fire and matching Sakura's devoted submission. Then the air shifted. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ***. Clones vanished, every pulse of ecstasy flooding back into the original. Naruto collapsed into the pile of satisfied, glistening bodies. Ino laughed breathlessly, licking from her lips. "Holy fuck! I'm never leaving this." Sakura nuzzled his neck, marked and glowing. "Our family just got even better." Hinata curled against his chest, smiling shyly. "All of us perfect." Naruto pulled them all close, heart fuller than ever. System notification. Simultaneous deep release with 3 partners. EXP plus 800. Level 4-5. New skill, full sensory fusion. Clones transfer 70% of sensations. With 3 incredible, devoted women, and their growing bond with each other, Naruto's world felt whole. But in quiet moments, he caught Tenten watching him during training. And he knew the circle might grow one more time. Naruto's harem had become something extraordinary. Sakura, Hinata, Ino, and Tenten were no longer just lovers, they were a family. Nights in Sakura's apartment, now practically their shared home, were filled with laughter, soft touches, and passion that left everyone breathless and utterly satisfied. They trained together, ate together, planned missions together. The bond between the girls had grown just as strong as their bond with him. Jealousy replaced by genuine affection, support, and shared desire. The system rewarded their harmony generously, but it also kept tempting him with new notifications. High difficulty targets unlocked. Tsunade Senju, current trust, 48. Legendary Sanin. Success grants massive EXP, medical mastery perks, village authority boost, and permanent regeneration enhancements for the entire harem. Naruto stared at the glowing panel in his apartment, heart racing. Tsunade. The 5th Hokage. The woman who could shatter mountains with a finger, heal mortal wounds with a touch, and, though he tried not to notice, possessed a body that defied logic. Enormous chest, tiny waist, wide hips, all wrapped in that confident, commanding presence. He'd always called her Ba-chan, to tease her, but lately, her green eyes had been lingering on him during medical checkups. Her hand had rested a little longer on his bare chest when checking his chakra pathways. And once, after a late-night ramen run, she'd ruffled his hair and said, "You're really not a kid anymore, are you?" Opportunity came sooner than expected. Late one evening, a messenger summoned him to the Hokage Tower for an urgent private briefing. When he arrived, only Tsunade was there. Shizen had apparently been sent on an errand. The office was dimly lit, papers scattered, a half-empty bottle of premium sake on the desk. Tsunade leaned back in her chair, robe slightly loosened, cleavage impossible to ignore. "Sit, brat," she said, pouring 2 cups. "We need to talk about your progress. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ****. Tsunade Senju, Trust, 48.90. The following weeks were a whirlwind of secret encounters. Late nights in the tower, hidden rooms in the hospital, even once in the private hot springs attached to the Hokage residence. Tsunade was insatiable, demanding, creative, completely unashamed. She taught him things no book ever could. After one particularly wild night, where she let him take her in every position across the office, ending with her riding him on the Hokage throne itself, her trust reached maximum. Tsunade Senju, Trust, 100, maximum achieved. Legendary rewards unlocked. Permanent regeneration boost for entire harem. Medical ninjutsu synergy. Village authority influence. With Tsunade fully devoted, bringing in Shizen was almost effortless. Trust transfer and Tsunade's direct invitation. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ****. Shizen, Trust, 100, maximum achieved. Support rewards, poison resistance, advanced healing synergy. The full group, Sakura, Hinata, Ino, Tenten, was invited to the Hokage residence for a celebration. Tenten, already fully part of the Core 4, arrived excited but awestruck at seeing Tsunade and Shizen waiting in silk robes. The legendary women welcomed her warmly, Tsunade with a knowing smirk, Shizen with a shy smile. Want the full uncensored 18+ scene? Only $4 on Patreon. 400+ scorching hot episodes. Fire ****. They collapsed together, 7 bodies in a massive, satisfied tangle. Soft kisses, laughter, whispered affections. Tsunade ruffled his hair. "You've outdone even Jiraiya's fantasies, brat." Shizen smiled against his chest. "And we're all yours." Tenten grinned. "Best team ever." The others echoed agreement, curling closer. System notification. Simultaneous deep release with 6 partners. EXP plus 6,000. Level 10-12. New perk. Legendary Harmony. Harem members gain cell strength and recovery boosts from shared bonds. Naruto's family, now including the 5th Hokage herself, was unstoppable. And on the horizon, names like Temari, Kurenai, and Enko glowed brighter on the system panel.